this is a really interesting problem for these companies, many of them which are U.S. companies who are operating Google, Facebook, and the like in Europe. Explain to me how this came to be in the first place.
Well, I must say that for the companies, it's not only interesting, but it's absolutely crucial that they have legal certainty when they transfer the data, the private data of Europeans across Atlantic to the United States. So for me, this is important to be here in Washington and to ask the new administration and the new representation of United States whether the guarantees which we agreed upon in the negotiations of the so-called Privacy Shield, whether they are still in place, because this is important for both sides.
Why is it important for the businesses?
The businesses are to a large extent dependent on the transfers of private data, and they were, without Privacy Shield, asked to have a very complicated way to guarantee the protection of data when they were transferring them to the United States. So having the Privacy Shield is for them very advantageous, useful and comfortable legal arrangement. And of course, if I say comfortable, it means at the same time that they have to comply with the rules of Privacy Shield, and as you said rightly, to comply with the stricter rules of protection of private data which we have in European Union compared to the ones you have here in the United States.
I mean, can you tell the companies right now, given how important it is to them, don't worry, we're going to make sure this will be fine? Do you have that ability, that confidence in it?
I cannot give such a guarantee to the companies, because it is mainly their task to be compliant with the rules, and only through the full compliance they can avoid being sanctioned or having some negative impact on their business. But why I'm here today, it's more the dialogue with the new American representation. I had a privilege to speak today with Mr. Wilbur Ross, who assured me that he understands the importance of Privacy Shield and also the tasks or the commitments which are under Privacy Shield in place for the state administration. And I have to come back to Europe with such assurance and to continue working on keeping Privacy Shield running and allowing us to be sure that the protection of the privacy of Europeans is in place.
Are you still willing to pull the Privacy Shield completely if you don't get the assurances you need?
I can say I have positive feelings. I spoke to Mr. Ross, I spoke to the American Chamber of Commerce and the representation of various businesses, and I had a very good feeling that the Privacy Shield is fulfilling its main purpose. Also, I met yesterday the representatives of NGOs, the watchdogs, which have some concerns about the new trends in the United States. The feeling that there will be more emphasis on the priority of ensuring national security, which would mean that
right.
The protection of privacy would be secondary. I don't have such signs.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, it's also interesting from a privacy standpoint. I mean, it seems that the EU has certainly targeted some U.S. companies, Google, Facebook, among others, that seem to have a different notion of privacy, to put it politely, than some European companies. Do you feel like, in your role as commissioner at the EU, that you've really got to focus on U.S. companies because they just don't get privacy, that somehow they think of it differently?
When American companies operate and collect, operate in the European Union and collect the private data of Europeans, they have to comply with the same rules and with the same privacy guarantees as the European companies. So we do not make any difference, and we are applying the rules and the guarantees of protection to all the companies.